Action. Hello, my dear folks. Welcome to the show. You lovely dear audiences. I love you a lot because I love the community. You guys are the members of the community. Members are talking about the fact they need equal representation, right? So, election is the time when we try to pick the right guy for the right job to do, which is the one to represent people. We want everybody to be represented, disregard of color, disregard of sex, whoever, races, or where you're from, where you're born, disregard. As long as you are, quote unquote, the people, you are equally represented. Speaking of the coming election of West Covina, which is a beautiful city where this studio is situated, we really want to make sure that city is represented in the proper way by the right people, by the proper people. Lately, we heard lots of news about West Covina, especially we're talking about the audit mandated by the state of California to see if anything goes all right or goes wrong with the little book of this beautiful city. This show today, I have invited one more time my good friend, a fighter kind of a friend. A matter of fact, he is a fighter. He has been a policeman for a long time in LASC, right? So, Mr. Frederick Sykes, sitting mayor of West Covina. Welcome, Mayor, to the show.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
All right.
you having me here.
By looking at the calendar, though, we know it's going to be the last kick, right?
Yes, this is the
You
final
better try very hard. And I know I will try very hard. You better try very hard.
Oh yes, absolutely. We've already, probably the traditional majority of voters have already cast their vote. People who vote by mail.
I see.
See, that's the easiest way to vote. So I've been telling people that for years. Why should you miss your vote when you don't have to?
I see.
If you vote by mail, should you have an emergency on election day, you would have already voted, and you won't miss your vote.
So
those people who wait for the polls to open and they have an emergency, guess what? They're not going to vote. They're going to take care of that emergency.
So you're trying to make your first point to invite people, to encourage people to go out to vote, right?
Yes. And the easiest way to vote. The voting process that gives you more opportunities is to vote by mail. Because when you vote by mail, in this series, in this election, you start voting closely to October the 5th, so almost a month ahead of when the polls open.
I see.
So you have all those days from October the 5th to the election day, which is November the 3rd.
Oh, the 3rd, yes.
To vote. And I always tell people, and most people are kind of shocked by this, people in jail vote. How do you think they vote? They can't get out of jail. They vote by mail.
Yeah, all right. They can go by mail.
People in jail can vote by mail. So that means you can vote by mail from anywhere in the world. So I tell business people, all these people that come from all over the world here, and I've had them tell me. That's why I had to learn and make sure that I mention.
Yeah, you're right.
Sykes, I love you, but I can't vote for you. I'm going to be out of town.
I see.
So I say, hey, you can vote early in person before you leave town. All you have to do is go to Norwalk, the register recorder's office, and tell them, hey, look, I have a pressing engagement. I won't be here on election day. I'd like to vote early and in person.
I see.
So you have all kind of opportunities to vote. Now, what do you learn about these opportunities? lavote.net.
lavote.net.
lavote.net. It's an education.
You're talking about 3 ways to vote. Number 1, you can vote early. By mail anytime.
And you can vote by mail, yes.
All right, and then you can go to the registrar,
office and
say, hey, I have something that's been engaged, and I want to vote this moment.
I want to vote early
and then in person, right? You can do that way, and also, of course, you can go the last day, which is the 3rd of November. Keep that in mind, 3rd of November.
And then also, for folks who do vote by mail. I had a gentleman, he's passed away now. He's got the same first name as I do, except he's Filipino.
I see.
His name was Federico. His name was Frederick. And so Federico was on his way out of town. And he called me, he says, oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to mail my vote. And he says, I know that it needs to be there by election day. And I can't get it done through the mail. What do I do? I said, on your way out of town, find any voting polling place that's open.
Uh-huh.
In LA County, in LA County, any polling place will receive your ballot, and you just package it up.
Okay.
Just as though you're going to send it, but don't put a stamp. That's a waste of a stamp. Just seal it, follow the whole process. Except don't put it in the mailbox. Take it to the polling place.
I see.
And you can submit it up until 8 p.m., up until the hour of just before they close. You can walk right in the last minute.
I see.
To submit your vote that you would put in the
LA
mail.
vote system accept the votes
Accept the vote.
regardless of any cities, regardless of what city. They will
Regardless,
dispatch
as long
to
as
the
LA
right
County,
city
they
channel,
will
right
count.
channel, right?
Your vote will count.
Okay, my dear audience, if you really are getting serious about U.S. politics, especially when you talk about local politics, you really do have to involve, right? I would say one vote of yours to presidential vote might not count that seriously. However, when you talk about your local politics, though, you really want to make sure that your votes is counted, right?
Well,
that is the important
there's
thing.
proof of how important it is to make sure that we get the vote out. There's proof through 2013. One gentleman lost by 2 votes. On the night of the election,
2 votes.
when they finished the count, on the night of the election, he was 2 votes down.
I see.
So what he did, because he thought there was mistakes, and we're in the process of working on that as a city.
You talking about Rosemead?
No, I'm talking about West Covina.
Oh, West
I'm talking
Covina.
about right here, West Covina. In
All right.
2013,
Okay.
there was a gentleman that lost the election by 2 votes.
I see.
That's how important it is. He lost by 2 votes.
2 votes.
And so then what he did, because he thought that maybe the county made a mistake, he asked for a vote recount.
Recount. Okay.
Now, when you do that, you pay by the day. This is staff. This is county workers.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Crew.
The whole thing.
And
Yeah.
we're talking probably $25,000 to $30,000 cash.
I see.
Well, money that you got to produce.
Yeah.
And
You're right.
so he did that. And then the new count showed that there were mistakes, but not in his favor.
Oh, not in his
Not in
favor.
his favor,
All
so
right. Okay. All
so
right.
he paid all that money, plus he lost the election.
Lost the election.
So
Okay.
certain states, and my good friend Bruce Linebaugh can tell you all about his state that he comes from. He came from Iowa.
There was the same story in Rosemead. I can't remember the exact year, though. Of course, even though the person, the character, is in question, but that very moment, though, he thought that was some mistake in the process of counting. So he called for a not only a recount, but also a court judgment about the numbers, about the validity of the other votes that he kind of like 3 or 4 votes of that. All these instances, my dear audience, indicate that how important your vote is. Your one vote, right? Is. So after all, I have a philosophy that I would like to apply to this, right? If you were born to the system on this piece of land, you feel proud. You are proud, born American, right? Okay, now, if you're immigrated into this country, such as my case, I'm a naturalized citizen, naturalized United States. Question is that if I turn the mirror to ask myself, Jack, why are you here? Why are you here? When I ask myself, I'm here for the freedom. I'm here for the democracy, right? Now your democracy is given to you. Okay, sir, here's your democracy. Go apply to it. Go exercise it. And you refuse to vote. That day you were kind of doing that. Doesn't make any sense. Does it?
It is very sad. First of all, I love it when people say, hey, I voted for you. And I show them my card.
All right, good.
And I say, this is proof that your vote counts, because the title says mayor.
Yeah,
in
sure.
In this case. I said, so your vote really counts, and tell your friends.
Sure.
Because you got proof. Now, the other thing that people lose sight of is that in your case, you understand that voting is very precious. And that is democracy. That is good citizenship.
Of course.
To vote. And I always tell people, you have to look at it kind of like your body. If you don't exercise your muscles, they do what's called atrophy.
You're right.
They go away.
You're right.
And so voting is part of your muscle for democracy. Is to make sure that you protect and assert your interests. And then the people to collectively, and it's the majority that drives that forward. So your idea may not be everybody else's idea, but when you act collectively, and we all vote for the same person or the
Yeah, you're
same
right.
idea, that's what helps that happen. It just that's what negates and offsets that dictatorship.
You're right.
So one person walks in as a dictator, or king, or whatever. They walk in and say, "This will happen."
Yeah.
Well, this is the difference. This is the
Sure,
freedom of America.
sure. All right.
Is that the majority and your vote is what drives that muscle of democracy.
All right.
That's
Very
the
good.
action
Very good. Very
of
good. All right.
democracy is through the vote. That's what democracy is all about.
I like that statement. There was one day my assistant, Sarah, told me that, normally those guys, when they talk about politics, I don't understand that much. I don't like that much, very much.
Right.
But I like the way this guest talk about the politics that this guest is talking about. You're kind of explaining the American democracy in a very grassroots way. I believe later I'll check with Sarah. She'll probably like that too. All right. For that, I will call for the first segment. For the coming segments, we would take one supporter at a time to indicate why they support, and you will explain, well, two, right? So how about that?
Okay.
So who you want to bring up first?
Well, usually I like to have ladies first.
Ladies first, okay. All right, good.